Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! 30 flickering candles adorned the chocolate birthday cake, their radiant glow dancing upon the dark oak table. The warm aroma of melted wax blended with the rich fragrance of cocoa, accentuating the peaceful ambiance of the room. In anticipation, the individual summoned their courage, each inhalation measured and deliberate. Those eyes, pools of chocolate enveloping whispers of warmth, narrowed in focus, mesmerized by the waltzing flickers of melted wax. "Believe in wishes," a familiar voice echoed through the darkness, a recording projected from an antique clock, its speaker vibrating with memories of love. The wish crystallized in their mind, a fleeting yet powerful notion. To embrace the transformational dance of gender, if only for a moment, to truly know. As the final exhale engulfed the room, the candles succumbed to darkness, their flames extinguished at the touch of destiny. Silence enveloped the abode, a prelude to the awakening light that signaled a time of transition. Was this enough of a rewrite? Would you like me to continue with the story? After the call ended, the apartment fell silent again. 30 years old, a milestone that somehow felt hollow despite career success and a comfortable life. Something had always been missing, a persistent feeling that nagged beneath daily routines and accomplishments. Sleep came fitfully that night, dreams filled with blurred reflections and changing shapes. Morning arrived with unexpected brightness. Pedro rolled out of bed and shuffled toward the kitchen in gray sweatpants and a faded blue t-shirt. The coffee maker gurgled to life when the doorbell rang, an unusual occurrence at 7:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Opening the front door revealed no person, just a medium-sized box wrapped in glossy pink paper and topped with a white satin bow. No card, no delivery person in sight, just the mysterious package sitting innocently on the welcome mat. The box came inside, placed on the kitchen counter while coffee brewed. Curiosity won over caution as fingers pulled at the ribbon, unwrapping the gift with growing bewilderment. Inside, nestled tissue paper concealed the contents: a long blonde wig with natural-looking waves, a comprehensive makeup kit with various products, a flowing red dress made of soft material, and a pair of matching heels. "What the hell?" The words echoed in the empty kitchen. The items spread across the counter, examined with tentative touches. The dress appeared expertly tailored, not some cheap costume. The wig looked expensive, made of real hair. The makeup collection included high-end brands, everything from foundation to eyeliner, mascara to lipstick. Had someone overheard the birthday wish? Impossible. It had been silent, internal. A private desire never shared with anyone. Perhaps a mix-up in delivery? But the box had no shipping label, no address, nothing to indicate a mistake. Coffee forgotten, Pedro carried the box to the bedroom, placing everything on the bed. The red dress seemed to beckon, its fabric catching morning light through the window blinds. "This is crazy," came the mutter, while fingers traced the dress's neckline. Completely crazy. Yet something compelled movement toward the bathroom mirror. Brown eyes stared back, questioning, curious, the face that had always felt somewhat wrong, somewhat disconnected. The short brown hair that never quite seemed to fit. 20 minutes passed in stillness before decision crystallized. The door locked, though no one would come. Privacy secured for whatever might happen next. The wig came first, carefully positioned over brown hair tucked neatly underneath. the transformation began instantly. Long blonde waves framing the face, softening features. Next came foundation, applied with unpracticed hands, but achieving a surprisingly smooth finish. Eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara. Each step revealed something new in the reflection. Blush added warmth, and finally, red lipstick completed the facial metamorphosis. Clothes came off, replaced by the red dress that flowed over newly discovered curves. The fabric settled perfectly, as if made specifically for this body. The heels added height and changed posture immediately, straightening the back and altering the center of gravity. The mirror revealed a complete stranger. Gone was Pedro, the architect with perpetual 5 o'clock shadow and tense shoulders. In his place stood someone new, a woman with warm eyes, soft features, and an unmistakable elegance despite the bathroom's fluorescent lighting. "Charlotte," whispered the red lips, the name emerging unbidden, but fitting perfectly. "My name is Charlotte." The woman in the mirror nodded, blonde hair bouncing slightly with the movement. Something settled into place, a recognition, a truth long submerged, rising to the surface. The discomfort that had followed for years suddenly made sense. The persistent feeling of wearing the wrong skin had a name, an explanation. Charlotte left the bathroom on unsteady heels, practiced walking across the bedroom carpet until the movements became more natural. Each step brought confidence, each glance in the mirror confirmation. This felt right in a way nothing had before. The morning stretched into afternoon as Charlotte practiced speaking, sitting, moving. Each motion required relearning, but muscle memory developed surprisingly quickly. The apartment became a classroom for this new existence. Evening approached with a new dilemma: stay inside, safe but isolated, or venture outside, risky but real. The decision made itself as sunset painted the walls amber. Charlotte grabbed a small purse from the box, somehow overlooked earlier, and transferred essentials into it. The elevator mirror provided one final check. The red dress caught eyes immediately, complemented by blonde hair cascading over shoulders. Charlotte smiled at her reflection, recognizing both herself and a stranger simultaneously. The street buzzed with Saturday night energy, couples heading to dinner, friends meeting for drinks, life happening in all directions. Charlotte stepped into this stream of humanity with trepidation that quickly transformed into exhilaration. People glanced her way, but with appreciation rather than suspicion. A small cafe 2 blocks away provided the first social test. Charlotte selected a table on the patio, ordered a glass of wine with practiced femininity, and observed the world from new eyes. The waiter called her Miss, without hesitation. A man at the next table smiled politely. Nothing catastrophic happened, just existence, authentic and unquestioned. 1 glass of wine became 2 as Charlotte grew comfortable in public space. Conversation with the waitress flowed naturally, discussing wine preferences and weekend plans without self-consciousness. For the first time, social interaction felt effortless rather than performative. The walk home carried new awareness, vulnerability mixed with power. Charlotte noticed different things: how men's gazes lingered, how women assessed her outfit, how space on the sidewalk allocated differently. The red dress attracted attention, but also created distance, a paradox to contemplate. Home again, Charlotte stood before the full-length bedroom mirror, absorbing the complete image of herself. The person reflected seemed more authentic than any previous reflection. The thought of removing the dress, the makeup, the wig, returning to Pedro, felt suddenly unbearable. One more day, Charlotte whispered to herself, decision made before consciously realized. I need one more day. Sleep came easily that night, more peaceful than any in recent memory. Morning arrived with momentary disorientation. Blonde hair tangled around shoulders, traces of makeup smudged on pillowcases. Remembrance followed quickly, the mysterious package, the transformation, Charlotte. The red dress hung carefully in the closet, waiting for another day. But what to wear? Pedro's clothes felt wrong now, impossible to consider. The pink box revealed additional surprises upon closer inspection, compartments containing jeans, tops, even undergarments. Everything necessary for continued existence as Scarlett. A simple outfit emerged, dark blue jeans, a cream-colored blouse, comfortable flats. The wig required styling, makeup needed refreshing, but the process moved more smoothly than the previous day. Scarlett emerged from the bedroom, feeling prepared for whatever might come. Sunday passed quietly. Grocery shopping, a walk in the park, small interactions with strangers who never questioned her identity. Each moment strengthened Charlotte's certainty that this wasn't a temporary experiment, but an essential truth finally acknowledged. Monday morning brought the first major decision point. Work awaited, the architecture firm where Pedro had built a career over 8 years. Charlotte sat at the edge of the bed, contemplating options. Call in sick? Go as Pedro? Both seemed impossible now. The phone rang, interrupting this dilemma. The caller ID showed HR's extension. Hello? Charlotte answered cautiously. Good morning, came the reply. I'm calling about your transition paperwork. Everything's been processed successfully. Your new ID badge is ready at security, and your email has been updated. The team has been briefed, so everything should go smoothly for your first day as Scarlett. Stunned silence followed. Transition paperwork, briefings, none of this had happened. Thank you, Scarlett finally managed, not questioning this impossible development. Of course. The firm supports you completely. See you soon. The call ended, leaving Scarlett staring at the phone. Whatever magic had delivered the pink box had apparently extended beyond physical transformation into practical matters as well. The world seemed to be reshaping itself to accommodate Scarlett's existence. Professional attire emerged from another previously unnoticed compartment in the pink box. A tailored black pantsuit with subtle feminine details. Scarlett dressed carefully, applied makeup with growing skill, and styled blonde hair into a neat bun. The mirror reflected confidence that surprised even her. The architecture firm occupied 3 floors of a downtown high-rise. Scarlett's hand trembled slightly as she reached for the door handle, but determination pushed her forward. The security desk processed her new ID without comment, as if nothing unusual had occurred. Looking sharp today, Scarlett, said the guard, handing over a badge with her new name and a photograph she didn't remember taking. The elevator ride to the 14th floor stretched eternally. Scarlett rehearsed responses to questions, prepared for confusion, or worse. The doors opened to familiar surroundings that suddenly felt foreign. Morning, Scarlett, called the receptionist. Coffee's fresh if you want some. No double takes, no questions. Just normal Monday morning interactions. Scarlett's office door displayed a new nameplate. Scarlett Mendez, Senior Architect. Inside, everything remained organized exactly as left on Friday, but subtle changes appeared upon closer inspection. The degrees on the wall showed her name. Business cards in the holder featured Scarlett rather than Pedro. Colleagues stopped by throughout the morning, conversations flowing naturally as if nothing had changed. References to past projects continued seamlessly, professional relationships unaltered except for her name and appearance. The transition that hadn't officially happened seemed completely accepted. "We still on for the client presentation Wednesday?" asked Thomas, the project manager, leaning against the doorframe. "Absolutely," Scarlett replied, surprised by her own composure. "I've finished the renderings." "Great. You always nail the residential designs. Something about your perspective really connects with clients." The day proceeded with remarkable normality. Scarlett found her work unchanged, the same talent for spatial relationships, the same creativity in problem-solving. Architecture had always been about understanding how people move through spaces. Perhaps this new perspective enhanced rather than diminished her professional abilities. That evening, returning to the apartment, Scarlett performed what had become a ritual, studying herself in the mirror, checking for cracks in the illusion. But there was no illusion, just reality reshaping itself around her truth. The pink box sat on the bedroom floor, seemingly ordinary, but clearly magical in its effects. Questions remained unanswered. Who had sent it? How had everything aligned so perfectly? Did the wish hold power, or had the wish merely acknowledged what had always been true? Days became weeks. The red dress hung in the closet, worn occasionally for special occasions. Scarlett's wardrobe expanded, her identity solidified. The blonde wig became unnecessary as her own brown hair grew out, styled into a feminine bob that framed her face perfectly. Hormone therapy started mysteriously, prescriptions appearing in her mailbox from doctors she never visited. Physical changes followed gradually, skin softening, features subtly shifting, body redistributing itself in alignment with her identity. The medications worked with remarkable efficiency, as if making up for lost time. Friends adjusted to Scarlett with varying degrees of ease. Some disappeared quietly, unable to bridge the change. Others arrived unexpectedly, drawn to her authenticity. Family remained distant at first, confusion transmitted through infrequent phone calls that always seemed to end too quickly. Scarlett marked days on a calendar, watching the approach of a meaningful milestone. 1 year since the wish, 1 year since the pink box arrived, 1 year of living truthfully. The day arrived with unexpected emotional weight. Scarlett stood in front of the mirror, wearing a blue silk blouse and black pencil skirt, brown hair now reaching her shoulders in gentle waves. The transformation seemed both miraculous and inevitable. The person reflected simultaneously new and eternally present. "Happy birthday to me," she whispered to her reflection. Work brought surprise celebrations. Colleagues gathering around a small cake in the conference room, singing and presenting cards addressed to Scarlett without hesitation or confusion. The firm's managing partner announced her promotion to project lead, citing excellent client relationships and innovative designs. Evening plans had been arranged weeks in advance. Dinner with new friends who had known only Scarlett, never Pedro. The restaurant overlooked the city, lights twinkling below as conversation and laughter flowed freely. No secrets needed keeping, no past required explanation, just presence in the moment, authentic and complete. "To Scarlett," toasted Elaine, raising her glass, "for showing us what courage looks like." The compliment brought unexpected tears. Scarlett hadn't considered herself courageous, just lucky, blessed by whatever magic the pink box had contained. Yet the journey had required bravery, facing each day with determination despite uncertainty. "Thank you all," Scarlett responded, emotion tightening her throat, "for seeing me." Home again. 31 candles flickered on a small cake purchased for private celebration. The apartment felt different than a year ago. Photographs showed Scarlett at various events, Mementos reflected her true identity, space organized according to her preferences rather than habits maintained through disconnection. The wish formed clearly again. Thank you for letting me become who I've always been. Candles extinguished with a single breath. Darkness momentarily filled the room before lights returned. A knock at the door surprised Scarlett. Unexpected visitors weren't common, especially late evening. Opening the door revealed no person, just another package. This one wrapped in blue paper with a silver ribbon. Inside the box nestled a sequined blue cocktail dress, elegant and perfectly sized. A card rested atop the tissue paper, its message simple. For your celebration, the next chapter begins now. The handwriting matched none Scarlett recognized, yet felt familiar somehow. The dress replaced the red one that had started everything, similar in its transformative power, but different in symbolism. Beginning versus becoming. Experiment versus embodiment. Scarlett changed into the blue dress, its sequins catching light with every movement. The mirror reflected completion, a journey realized, a wish fulfilled beyond expectation. The pink box had long since disappeared, vanishing mysteriously months ago. The blue dress now hung in its place in the closet, a reminder that magic exists in unexpected forms, sometimes arriving precisely when needed. Days continued forward. Scarlett's life developed rhythm and purpose. Work brought fulfillment through creation. Friendships deepened through authentic connection. Family gradually adjusted, tentative acceptance growing into genuine understanding. The architecture firm assigned Scarlett to design a community center, her first solo project from concept to completion. The building took shape under her guidance, spaces flowing naturally into one another, form following function with elegant simplicity. Your design has something special, commented the client after reviewing final plans. It feels inclusive somehow, like everyone belongs. Scarlett smiled, recognizing the truth in those words. Her perspective had fundamentally changed how she approached design, understanding transitions and transformations, appreciating how environments shape experience. The community center opened 6 months later, Scarlett cutting the ribbon alongside city officials. Cameras captured the moment, her confidence evident in photos that appeared in local media. The brown-haired woman in a professional blue suit stood proudly beside her creation, no trace of the uncertainty that had defined Pedro visible in her posture or expression. That evening, celebrating the successful opening, Scarlett found herself reflecting on the journey. The mysterious birthday wish, the pink package, the red dress, the transformation that seemed magical, but perhaps had simply been permission to acknowledge truth. Her phone buzzed with a text message from an unknown number. Happy anniversary. Your wish changed everything. Scarlett stared at the screen, questions returning unbidden. Who had known? Who had helped? Did it matter? Perhaps the magic hadn't been in the box at all, but in the courage to open it. Perhaps the transformation hadn't been physical so much as perceptual, the world finally aligning with what had always been true. The blue sequined dress hung in the closet alongside newer acquisitions, everyday clothes for a life lived without pretense. Scarlett ran fingers across the fabric occasionally, remembering its arrival on her 31st birthday, marking 1 year of authenticity. Plans formed for the next birthday celebration. Dinner with colleagues, dancing with friends, a video call with family who now used her name without hesitation. 32 would arrive without fanfare, just another year in a life finally aligned with truth. The architecture firm continued presenting opportunities, Scarlett's reputation for thoughtful design growing throughout the city. A university invited her to lecture on innovative residential spaces. A magazine featured her community center in a spread about urban revitalization. Success tasted sweeter for being earned as herself, rather than through the disconnected efforts of Pedro. Achievements felt genuine. Recognition belonged truly to the person receiving it, rather than a facade maintained through effort. The calendar pages turned steadily toward another milestone. 2 years since the wish, the box, the beginning. Scarlett marked the date with private significance, wondering if another package might arrive, if the mysterious benefactor might reveal themselves. Instead came understanding, gradually realized through reflection. The magic hadn't been external at all, no fairy godmother or enchanted gift. The transformation had been self-actualization, permission finally granted to become authentic. The world had adjusted not through sorcery, but through the remarkable human capacity for acceptance when faced with undeniable truth. The community center thrived under Scarlett's ongoing consultation. Young architects sought her mentorship, drawn to both her design philosophy and personal story that had become known through professional circles. She shared insights carefully, emphasizing authenticity as the foundation for meaningful work. "Your buildings speak to people," commented one student during a site visit. "How do you achieve that connection?" "By understanding transition," Scarlett replied, brown hair lifting slightly in the breeze as they walked the grounds.
"Every space represents change, moving from one state to another. When you honor that journey, people respond."
Her own apartment transformed gradually. Pedro's minimalist approach replaced by Scarlett's more expressive aesthetic. Colors brightened walls previously left neutral. Artwork reflected emotional resonance rather than intellectual appreciation. The space evolved as she did, becoming more fully realized with time. The red dress and blonde wig remained tucked away in storage, artifacts from a beginning that had served their purpose. Scarlett's own brown hair now reached the middle of her back, often worn in styles that framed her face with natural femininity. Her wardrobe reflected professional confidence and personal comfort rather than performance or disguise. Family relationships healed through persistent authenticity. Parents who had initially struggled found their way to acceptance through love that proved stronger than confusion. Holiday visits no longer carried tension, just normal family dynamics navigated with newfound honesty. "You seem happier," Mom observed during a weekend visit, watching Scarlett prepare dinner in the kitchen. "More yourself somehow." "I am myself," Scarlett confirmed, the simple truth of those words still occasionally surprising. "For the first time." The mysterious text messages continued appearing on significant dates, brief acknowledgments without identification. Each brought momentary questions but increasingly less concern about their source. The magic, whatever its nature, had catalyzed rather than created. The journey belonged to Scarlett, regardless of how it began. Professional recognition culminated in an award from the Architectural Association, acknowledgement of innovative residential designs that reimagined transitional spaces between public and private spheres. Scarlett accepted the honor in a blue dress reminiscent of her birthday gift, symbolism understood privately amid public celebration. "Your perspective challenges conventional approaches," noted the association president during the ceremony. "You see possibilities others miss." The third birthday approached with calm anticipation rather than anxious wonder. Scarlett planned a small gathering at home. Close friends, good food, no elaborate celebration needed for what had become comfortable existence, rather than extraordinary transformation. The night before, she stood before the mirror wearing simple pajamas, brown hair pulled back in a casual ponytail. The reflection showed a woman at peace, features settled into natural femininity, posture conveying confidence, eyes clear with self-knowledge. "Thank you," she whispered to her reflection, gratitude extending to whatever forces, magical or mundane, had enabled this journey. Morning brought sunshine through bedroom curtains and a small blue box on the nightstand, delivered somehow without disturbance. Inside nestled a silver necklace bearing a simple charm. A door, slightly ajar, light emanating from within. The card accompanying it read, only, "The magic was always yours." Scarlett fastened the necklace around her neck, understanding flowing through her touch. No external power had transformed her, only permission finally granted to become. The mysterious gifts had been invitations rather than enchantments, opportunities to step through doors already present. The day unfolded with quiet joy. Work in the morning, lunch with colleagues, evening gathering with friends who arrived bearing thoughtful gifts and genuine affection. Candles on the cake numbered 33, marking not just years lived, but particularly the 3 years of authentic existence. "Make a wish," urged Elaine as Scarlett prepared to blow out candles. Brown hair fell forward slightly as Scarlett leaned toward the flames, considering possibilities. The wish formed with perfect clarity. "May everyone find their truth as I have found mine." Candles extinguished in a single breath. The room filled with applause and laughter, conversation resuming around food and drinks. Scarlett touched the silver door charm resting against her collarbone, feeling its subtle warmth. Life continued forward. Architecture projects, friendships, family relationships, all experienced through authenticity rather than pretense. Scarlett's designs gained recognition for their thoughtful approach to human experience, her understanding of transition informing spaces that welcomed transformation. The mysterious packages stopped arriving, their purpose apparently fulfilled. Scarlett kept the red dress as reminder, the blue sequined dress as milestone marker, and the silver necklace as daily touchstone. Each represented chapters in a story still unfolding, but fundamentally resolved. The magic, she had discovered, wasn't in packages or wishes or mysterious benefactors. It lived in courage, the bravery to acknowledge truth despite uncertainty. It manifested through authenticity, living aligned with internal reality rather than external expectation. It thrived in connection, relationships based on genuine presence rather than performance. Scarlett Mendez, architect and woman, moved through the world with the confidence of someone fully realized, brown hair flowing, steps purposeful, designs reflecting understanding that spaces, like people, contain multitudes of possibility awaiting discovery. The birthday wish made years ago had been fulfilled beyond imagination, not just experiencing life as a woman, but becoming fully herself. The journey from Pedro to Scarlett represented not transformation, but revelation, uncovering what had always existed beneath layers of expectation and conformity. The mirror no longer held questions, only answers. Scarlett smiled at her reflection each morning, recognition complete and gratitude endless for the chance to live authentically. The greatest magic of all.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!